Farina, folks, which is an old town in the Flinders Ranges. Well, when I say old town, it's the ruins of an old town, Farina Township. And every season in the Flinders they have a bakery, an underground bakery that opens here, and it's run by volunteers. It is packed. We haven't even got over to the campground yet. That's why I'm hiding in the van. No, not really. We pulled in, Aiden grabbed some lunch, and I was going to show you the pies that Aiden got from inside the bakery, but this is all I can show you. Yeah. It looks like he enjoyed them. Did you, Aiden? Yes. Were they delicious?
Yes.
And he's grabbed some bread as well. Absolutely killed me going in there and smelling it all, but I went in to have a look at it. And we'll show you around the town of Farina. Well, what once was the town of Farina. So I will just say that I'm a little bit freaked out driving into Farina and seeing it packed with so many people. The last time I was here, I was a solo swagger. Came here one night. I think there was me and maybe one other person in the campground. Was in my swag with the Ford Ranger. Walked all about the ghost town by myself with just, you know, the spirits to keep me company. And the wind was howling so bad that I could barely stand up, and it's the one night when I was camping I went without anything to eat because it was just easy to put myself inside the swag and go to bed. Absolutely great time I had though. And I really appreciate that now that I came when there was no one here. And now it's just packed, so I don't think Aiden's going to get the same experience that I had. But you know, fortunately for us, our home base isn't that far away, so we can come back some other time too when it's not so hectic. So we're parked up in Farina in the campground. I guess you'd say it's bush camping, wouldn't you?
Yes, but not our style. There's too many people.
There's a lot of people, but we did actually manage to find this little corner in the bush. $20 a night to stay here. There is toilets and showers. I think by memory they're donkey showers. But yes, there is quite a few people here. So everyone, this is Farina. It was a town which was founded in 1878, and obviously people are long gone except for the people that come to volunteer for the bakery and the station that's here. But many of the old ruins remain. So as you can see behind me, I said to Aiden, I reckon if we just go and set up camp and come back into the town when the bakery is kind of closing, that's the best time. That's what I remembered from being here before, because you've got the golden light about to set on the buildings. So for me, the bakery here, obviously it's fantastic. I very much enjoyed it, but it does mean that exploring the ruins has brought in a lot of people, and you do kind of lose that feeling of solitude that you have if you just wander out here and there's just a few of you. These are not my favourite ruins in the Flinders Ranges, and I don't think we've taken you to my favourite ones yet, but we will do that soon, and they are just phenomenal. It's just like a town just literally picked up and left, very well preserved. So we'll save that one for another time, but in the interim, we'll show you around Farina.
You do have the old Gann train line over there, and even one of the old carriages.
Yes, we can walk over there.
We can drive there.
We have unhitched because there is enough here to do to drive around. This will give you a better view of the campsites. There's a great war memorial here. In recognition of the Farina residents who were in World War I and World War II. So this is a great little spot to come and watch the sunset. Not quite sunset time yet. There's some great walks that you can do from the campground into town. You can actually, there's quite a bit to see, so you can unhitch obviously and drive into town and do the full works, or you can choose to use your legs, can't you, Aidan?
Well, choice is an operative word. Somebody was complaining we'd been in the car for too many hours, too many days in a row. So
We have, and also you consumed 2 pies the moment we got here, and I suspect there might be more pie consumption tomorrow.
there's always more pie consumption, my love.
So off we go then into the bush, looking for the ruins of Farina. In the age, they're quite well preserved, really, and very popular with the addition of the bakery. I'm very surprised at how many people do you think are in that campground tonight, Aidan?
I had counted over 60 vans, and I'm sure there's some I didn't see.
60.
And there was a few more coming in as we were coming out. So.
Yeah, but I mean, there's loads of space. You're not on top of each other, so don't let that put you off. But it's pretty full on.
But it is the first weekend of the bakery open.
Yeah, first weekend that the bakery's open, guys. So here's got all the old signs, so you know what you're looking at. I just love it. It's not my favourite ruin with the Flinders Ranges, but it's pretty good. So this is 12th Street, and this was the old Exchange Hotel, or what is left of it. Anyway, if you really want a dose of the Flinders history, just a little bit off the main road, then this is the spot for you. Well, one of them. It's a really good example of how they lived back in the day. This is the old blacksmith yard, and as you can see, it's just a treasure trove of things to see. Try and figure out what they were, what they did, and it's kind of compulsory. If you find something here, you just obviously leave it for someone else to have a look at. And you will find here loads of artifacts, old glass, crockery, just bits and pieces, but the people are long gone. The reason everyone gets so excited about the bakery here, I need to explain this, is you've got the bakery, the new bakery there to the left. This is the old stone bake house here, which they call the underground bakery. And I don't think it would be able to house the amount of people that are coming in here at the moment, but they're still doing all the baking here. So they come in, they do the baking.
All over wood fire.
In this, all over wood fire. The door's open. So I'm just going to show you in there, where they're still making all the goods in the bakery. Actually, it's pretty. Oh goodness, you scared the bejesus out of me.
Oh, well, I'll give you a quick talk on the oven.
Oh, fire going here next to the oven.
Fire, doesn't it?
No. Oh, it feels so good.
Too jolly hot.
Sorry, this is really shit camera work, but you know, not a professional here. Stoke up the wood fires, cook everything, including your pie and your bread. And then they're sold in the new bakery, which is just there. So this bakery was first set up in 1882. It's not what you would expect in a town of ruins, everyone. It's very quiet in here today now, being Monday, so it's a lot quieter. So I can show you inside the bakery, where you can come and watch a bit of a video on Farina and you'll shop. It's actually really well done. Just absolutely lovely. Oh, old matey's having a pie. I see you across there, Aidan. Checking it all out.
Yep. Looks like a bit of a basement down there.
Yes, I was just going to go down and have a look at that. All the old stonework always looks so glorious next to the blue sky, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But geez, it's harsh out here. You can probably see the flies buzzing around the camera. Harsh, harsh, harsh life living out in these parts back in the day. This is all the beautiful stonework and woodwork from inside. Also, I always love how the chimneys just last. That?
You got out before I could lock the door and leave you in the dungeon for the night.
I think I would have got out. It's good, great air conditioning in there.
I was reading around one of the signs that in the 1930s, when there was a drought on, there was a lot of sand, and someone had a Model T that was parked outside during a sandstorm, and they came out the next day, and one side of the car was sandblasted and no paint left. Someone else was driving up towards Marie and got stuck in a sandstorm.
Yep.
Ended up having to trudge all the way back here to get help. And by the time the people that were here went out to rescue him,
to get the car.
To rescue the car, all the sand had blown away from it.
Oh. So you just have to wait out the sandstorm.
Well, maybe a second one came along and took the sand away, but one side was sandblasted again.
The wind changed direction.
Yeah.
I can tell you, having been here on that very stormy night that I was here, there was no rain, of course, but I can imagine that with the wind. Like, it was howling. I weigh about 65 kilos and I was struggling to stand up. It was just absolutely insane. And yeah, you just, I had a beanie and stuff on at the time and just had it pulled down all around my face. But today we've been so fortunate to get this beautiful day. We get some great sunsets in the Flinders Ranges in South Australia, and these are the colours we've got happening tonight. Not bad, eh? Van life, not bad. A little jealous right now, folks, because I'm slicing Aidan some of that beautiful Farina bakery bread baked in the underground Scotch oven here. And being a celiac, all I can do is smell it. It smells absolutely delicious. Travelling with a celiac, as Aidan is, does add another level of complications. We have to have separate butters, always separate utensils. So like, I can't just reuse a butter knife that Aidan's just used. Separate area to toast, separate area to prepare food. And like when I've just sliced this now for Aidan, obviously I have to go and wash my hands, clean up all the breadboard and everything before I even think about making anything for myself. So just adds to the bliss of small house, tiny house travelling, doesn't it, Aidan? Travelling with a celiac I'm talking about. I'm doing the drive about Farina this morning, and I don't even know if you can see the campground and everything in the distance there, but we've driven a couple of k's out to the Farina Cemetery, which they're still working on, working out all the graves and placement of the graves. But you can just imagine it would be like what you see in the movies, someone passes in town and you see them doing this big walk across the dusty plains up to the cemetery, which is always located a bit out of town. And it looks like, even since I've been here, the Farina Restoration Group, there's a group I guess you can volunteer. They come and work here, particularly at this time of the year, to work on the buildings and
On the bakery.
run the bakery, and they've done massive amounts of work around the place. So they do a really good job. Something we might have to look at volunteering for, Aidan, when we haven't quite got so much on as what we have on at the moment.
Yep.
Could definitely spend a few weeks out here doing some bits and pieces. Aidan was saying yesterday that we donate a bag of concrete, is that right?
Yeah, well, you basically, but there's a sign in the Patterson's building that $10, but you donate $10 to buy a bag of cement to help.
The restoration group goes towards the restoration
You
group.
don't actually bring the cement with you.
Well, that's a good thing. The vans are already loaded up enough, right?
Yeah.
Some people might think it's morbid coming to look at the cemeteries, but I've always found it fascinating because it tells you such a story of the area. You learn so much about the people who lived in the area, not only how they died, but how they lived as well. The harsh conditions that they faced, disease, all those sorts of things. Every time I come to an old cemetery, I always find some sort of grave marking which is different. This one looks like it's possibly been made here. Nathaniel died in 1930. It's even got a little camel there. Always quite moving, seeing all the different tributes and how young people were when they passed back then. These are the rail stock carriages from down below. Desolate old place to be out loading up cattle, isn't it? So this one's a bit different. We've got a loading dock. This one was for sheep. And they're loaded onto rail carriages out here at Farina at one stage. So this one's for sheep. The other one I think was for cattle, was it, Aidan?
Yeah. It's a double-deck sheep one.
Yeah, double decker.
200 sheep.
200 sheep in there. Of course the rail line's long gone now. But definitely one to spy in your travels. Something a little bit different, isn't it, Aidan?
Yep. I was reading the sign over there. At one stage, there's Sydney Kidman.
Oh, yes, I read.
Kidman and Co.
Yep.
Shipped 18,000 head of cattle out of here in 1 year.
Wow. Yes, I saw that he was here, as he is in many rural parts of Australia, that man. This is the carriage that they used for the bigger beasts. How many could they fit in here, did you say? 8?
18.
Or 18? 18 of them. So 18 of them.
In 1910, when Sir Sidney Kidman shipped 18,000 head out, that's 1,000 of these left with cattle, just from him.
Only 1,000. 1,000 carriages.
Yeah.
Wow. Must have had a good
And
season.
he wasn't the only one shipping them out.
No. Must have had a good season that season though. To have that many. Looking at it now, can't imagine that. I'd just like to say that wherever you find that there was working men of the era, you will also find this. Fields of bottles.
Don't think it was just working men, my love.
Obviously
It was
broken now.
any people.
Well, yes. But what I'm saying is, out of the back out the back of almost every outback ruin, particularly where the pub was, there could have been like tons of bottles there. And so now you'll just be driving along and this is what you're actually driving over. You know. And the glass is just something else. Not like what you see these days, is it?
No, it's a lot thicker.
So thick. For any of you that are train enthusiasts, there's quite a bit to see out here. Built these big carts to haul gear. Just a whole different era. These carriages look like beasts, Aidan.
Yep, 25 tonne they can carry.
So they would have hauled all sorts of things, I guess.
Yeah, wool, ore, probably coal north for the steam trains coming to Tilbury Road to come south. Whatever, timber, wood, building materials.
So this carriage here, if you call it a carriage,
Goods wagon.
a goods wagon, is on loan from the Peterborough Railway Museum. Yeah, which is apparently very good, even though it's a stone's throw from our place. We haven't been there yet. We're waiting for rain, aren't we, Aidan? We're waiting for it's on a list and we're waiting for a rainy day because it's a good one to do on a rainy day. We just want the rain to come. Turb is open class, W open class bogie wagon for that one, everyone. So we're doing the driving tour of Farina now. They give you a great little map. You can get that from the bakery because otherwise you would be walking all day, wouldn't you, Aidan?
Yep.
With the flies and the heat. It's actually really warm out here. Very lucky, really. Probably just looks like mounds out in the bush, and effectively it is. But this is actually the ash pits from the railway line. Just to shovel it out from the trains. And that's where it ended up. And there's still a lot of it there to be seen. Worn out. I think we've been driving around, have we, for about 2 hours?
Yep.
Something like that. Just reading everything and looking at all the buildings, and yeah, as you saw, our old matey's just had his pie. So I'm having a coffee in Farina. Quite enjoying it. So Dave, I'm just going to sit out here and soak up the ambience because it's a lot quieter today than yesterday. So, first time I'd have to say I've had a coffee in some ruins.
That you didn't make yourself?
One that I didn't make out the thermos on the back of the car. So, a good day. If you are in South Australia and you're travelling between Lyndhurst and Farina, make sure you stop off and have a look at the ochre pits. It's just out of Lyndhurst on your left-hand side. There is a sign. Very few people stop here. And it is absolutely magnificent, and it just gives you a little taste of what the painted desert in South Australia is like with the colours. It is a site of significance to the Indigenous because obviously they've mined the ochre here, but it is just absolutely stunning and really nice when it's not windy.
Surprising how different the colour is within meters.
I know. And you hadn't stopped at this one, had you?
No.
Yeah. What about, it's only less than a kilometre drive in off the road.
Yeah.
So well worth.
5 or 10 k's north of Lyndhurst.
Yes. Yep. And the colours are just magic.
But you can't camp here.
You cannot camp here. You cannot enter the ochre pit. but you don't really need to. You can see all the colours from the top. It's just beautiful. If you're passing through Lyndhurst, you know, you've got to love the Aussie sense of humour. Population 30 most days. There is some great signboards. There's some loos here, really clean loos, and some great signboards to have a read about the area before you head further north. So definitely worth the stop.